What's up, everybody? We back with another message, another video. Thank you to all my new subscribers and future new subscribers. You know we do nothing here without God because everything is spiritually led by God over here. We cover the world from a spiritual and physical aspect to get the raw, real, and uncut answers. So anything you hear, anything you see in these end times, may you test the spirits, aka take the words and visuals back to prayer with God, as there are many Decepticons running around in these end times sent from the enemy, had a strong, close, and personal relationship with God. Good, great, and awesome. All right, everybody, March 22nd, 2024 on a good old Friday. Word today that stems from a conversation that I had with the Lord about prophecy and prophets just now. Okay, and he gave me the green light to give on to you all this warning. When it comes to prophecy, a lot of people idolize and view prophecy a certain way that they shouldn't. And that stems from people really desperately wanting words from the Lord and building their relationship, and also the way it's being presented in such a perverted way. It's just ridiculous. But what you've got to realize is prophecy is not the only check for if somebody heard from the Lord. You have to look at a person's heart posture, teachings, and so forth. And this was a word done, I believe, in January. You know, what is the heart of the person given the prophecy? Like, do they care about the people or the prophecy? So, for example, when Jonah had to give out that warning to the city of Nineveh and he didn't want to, you know, he wanted that to come to pass on them. You just know he did, because he was mad when they repented and judgment didn't sweep the land. They didn't get hit. And the Lord had to straighten him out. But it's legitimate people like that don't have the right heart posture and want something to come to pass so badly. So when somebody's going over a prophecy come to pass word, what is their heart posture like? You know what I'm saying? You know, on this channel, for me, I go over things that the Lord has specifically given me because that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm not happy that it happened, unless it's something good, of course. But other than that, I won't be happy that something's happening to people or that people are dying. You know, we are to pray against stuff. So remember, there are people who talk like something is set in stone. Yes, certain things can be set in stone, but when the Lord most of the time gives us stuff, it's to pray against it if it's bad, or pray for the person to avoid things. So when I get warnings, not all of this goes on YouTube. Sometimes it's just for a person. So I seen something to warn a person so that they won't run into it, because the heart has to be there. The heart posture has to be right. You're doing it because you want to help the person, not because you want to see it happen to the person, right? And remember, prophecy, it dies off, you know, so when the time is up for us, there is no more of whatever we're doing as far as these gifts. But the Lord will ask you, did you do it in love? So when you prophesied to somebody, did you want it to happen? You know, were you trying to be looked at as accurate? That's terrible heart posture, and you didn't do it out of love. You know, love can be stern warnings, but the goal is to save your brother and sister, or help the Lord save your brother or sister at least. A lot of people don't really have the discernment to tell whether somebody's of God or not. And what's going to end up happening is all the stuff that the Lord's been warning about, everybody, whether they are of the Lord or not, are going to be saying prophecy came to pass. That's what's going to be happening, if they even get the chance to, if the Lord don't already deal with them. But you still going to see it. And what you got to realize is the enemy disguises his servants and people who don't know they're being used by him. The enemy takes what God is giving his messengers and gives it to other people. And they think they got it from God, but the enemy is taking. The enemy, some people may hear things or talk to certain people and then say the Lord told them, because the Lord was speaking to that person in a conversation. You got to be really careful, you know, but people's heart posture really does come out. anytime you see somebody, like, let's say, what I've noticed when the Lord has called people out, they always point back to what they've done. And when you see somebody point back to what they've done so much, the works, their positioning and all this stuff, it's a very bad sign, because none of that matters when it comes to the Lord. You know, your works don't get you into heaven at all. So pay attention to the heart posture of people. It's very, very, very important, because that's what's going to happen. And you're going to be like, wait, I'm confused. But the Lord called this person out. Why is this stuff coming to pass? Well, maybe because the enemy's giving certain things to people. You got to put two and two together. Sometimes there are people who were hearing from the Lord at a certain point and gave warnings from the Lord when they were operating correctly. But now that they're not, you still have to check it, because they could have been in right standing like 2 years ago, but they're not now. So back then the Lord gave the warning through them, but now they're no longer really serving the Lord like they should. And now they're on the bad side of the Lord, because it's possible for anybody to fall off, you know? It is, ladies and gentlemen. We see it today. So people tend to give credit to the person instead of the Lord. You are not to give somebody credit for a prophecy that the Lord gave through them. And that's what a lot of people do today. They take credit. The word that I gave, remember what he told me about this, and they use it in a way where it's, when they get called out, like I was saying earlier, they use it for defense. So please pay attention in this hour, because I've seen things that the Lord has brought to me where somebody could be in witchcraft and divination right now and then claim that they had a prophecy. They can be accurate. Yes, they can actually give updates about what's coming, because the enemy also has plans. So they can be accurate on stuff. You know, fortune tellers can be accurate. You got to be careful. Very, 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 very careful when you're dealing with these platforms. A lot of people that are not in right standing with the Lord, because prophecies came to pass and people aren't really asking what the source was or who this person is, they're getting deceived by these people. Prophecy is not supposed to be bad. We're not supposed to despise it, but it's turned in such a horrible way and weapon against God's children, because the enemy knows people lack discernment and they don't seek their own Father. So please be careful. Don't be one of those people that prophecy search this and that and run into the wrong person, and then you can't tell now because that person got prophecy came to pass, but they doing witchcraft. Please be careful and watch the hearts of many, because it's really already been put out there and exposed. If a person is glorifying themselves and giving themselves a little bit too much credit at all, you need to be asking questions with the Lord. Because the Lord warns us to get us to pray, change results that could be bad. That's why he talks to us. But people, they just take it and run with it, put it out there, and don't pray. Don't even tell people to pray. Certain things the Lord may not tell you to pray against, because he's like, no, this person is tripping, you know, and they far gone. They got to get hit by something. So it all depends. But, you know, I hope this video kind of gives you a bit more of understanding to be cautious, please. Please, please, please. You know, for me, I'm constantly giving warnings out, whether on YouTube or not. The Lord is commanding me. He'll just tell me like, hey, I need you to send this message, right? It's not for YouTube, but it's for a person that will receive it. It just depends on how the person will receive it too. But remember to do everything out of love. And what love means is you're doing it to see good come from the result, not the bad. You want them to turn things around. You want good things to come from it. You want the best, but not everybody's hearts is that way. Peace and blessings, and I will catch y'all in the next one.